All right, and we're back. So we've got our interior walls framed, this center bearing wall and this wall. So now we got to install these. Just in case this wall might have come out a little bit longer or shorter than it needed to be, mark your partition mark your center bearing wall and where it goes using this wall. So hold it very tight in the corner. Make sure it's touching the bottom plate and the top plate, and mark the inside of your wall, and that's where your center bearing wall is going to go. So the reason you do that is if this wall's plumb, right here, this wall's plumb top to bottom, and this little interior partition is the same length, bottom plate, top plate. If you put it against your plumb wall right here, up and down, you know this wall is going to be plumb. There's no need on an interior partition to use a level or a plumb bob, because your exterior walls should all be plumb. As long as you know your exterior walls are plumb, you can just pull a tape measure top and bottom, and then those interior partitions will be plumb because you got the same measurement off your exterior walls, which you verified are plumb. The only other difference here, obviously besides the size, these walls would be straightened in the field. So like this wall right here, I can move it in or out a little bit. Your 2x4 top plate, especially so if you've got a 20-footer, chances of that being dead straight are pretty slim. So even if you've got it plumb and square in the corners, you may have to straighten up these walls. You do that by using braces. So you'd brace from the top of your wall down to a block on the floor like that, and you'd push this in or out until this was a straight line. You'd straight line this with some blocks against the corners, a string line, and then you'd use a gauge block everywhere to push this in or out and install as many diagonal braces as you need. That's another reason interior partitions aren't always framed before you get the shell done. Because with all those angle braces in there, it gets kind of crowded if you've got angle braces all throughout this, and you might not have room to stand up any walls. So that the interior partitions might have to wait until after your roof is on, everything is sheeted, nothing can move, and then you can take your braces off and install and do those interior partitions. So I've got this center bearing wall marked out. So we're just going to use a little bit of glue. You could put a couple nails in the bottom plate, but like I said, nailing in these little tiny stud bays is pretty hard. So I'm probably just going to use some glue. Okay, so my walls are in. They're not super tight right now. There's a little gap right here. That's probably because this wall bows out a little bit. This wall right here, I had to measure the bottom and the top to get the layout. So that's done. So now we're gonna start cutting top plates. So the top plates are gonna be lapped. So like this top plate is gonna go from outside of here to outside of here. And what that's gonna do is gonna tie these walls together. So the first plate stops here, top plate flies through and gets installed here. So we'll have this one like this, and then these will fly across this way and will lap on top of this one right here, because you can see this top plate finishes right on the outside of the building. So this top plate, the double top plate, needs to lap over top. So all your top plates are lapped. That ties those walls together, so we're not just relying on a nailed connection through here to keep those walls together. So now in the field, you'd install your double top plates flush with the outside of your framing. Normally your sheeting would cover your top plate. When I install my top plates, I'm going to be nailing 2x4 walls. You'd through nail with 2 at least 10s or 12 penny nails. 2x6 walls, you would do 3 10 or 12 penny nails. And but we're going to glue it, and I'm just going to tack it every couple studs. You also nail over top of your stud locations again, because when you're drilling through here, if you've got a nail right in the middle of the stud bay, nobody's gonna be able to see it from below, so when they drill up for their wires and stuff, they might hit your nail and ruin their bit. So yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna cut these top plates now and get them installed, tie this thing all together. myself on top plate material. So I'm hoping that you guys have enough in your kits. If you don't, you're gonna have to piece in some of your top plates using studs. So when you do that in full scale construction, you always break them over top of a stud. So say for instance on this wall, if this top plate went clear through, but I only had 16 footers, I would break it over top this stud. Even though there's this continuous top plate right here. That's just for structural reasons. So if you do have to cut some studs down, best practice is break them over a stud location where they'd be butting. They'd be butting over top of a stud location. So, but hopefully you guys have enough. You might also run out of these little nails. If anybody has a problem with their materials and they don't have enough or whatever, just drop me a line and we'll figure something out. All right, and that's our double top plates on there. Everything's all tied together and we're ready to start the roof. That'll be next time.